spirit is recognizing that does not either sit well with us or is triggering our subconscious mind or previous lifetime of memories. There is something that is being triggered in this moment and is causing us to not be present.
I know what I'm gonna do. Baby, I'm about to show you. See what we can be if we press fast forward. Just one more round if you're down, I'm bored.
Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, Stephanie B, aka Umi. For those of you who are new here, this channel is all about sacred motherhood and womanhood. I basically share all things from my intuition that I transmute to wisdom here on this channel. It is spiritually led. So previously we spoke about depression and anxiety. Body is telling me, but also what the spirit that's inside of my body is telling me. I gave you guys a rundown of what my philosophy was on depression and how I felt about the separation of the spirit and the soul in a human body, right? Kind of being like an allergic reaction. If you haven't watched that yet, go ahead and watch it. I will also link it down below so you can just click on it and find it super easily. And walk right now, and I was searching for my keys that I might have dropped. So hopefully I didn't drop them and they're somewhere in the stroller or they turn up somewhere around the house. But I wanted to just kind of trace my steps and to see if I might have dropped it on the way as King and I were taking our walk earlier today. So I decided to stop. It was a nice view. The sun is just shining, as you guys can see. So I figured, why not catch some vitamin D, breathe some nice fresh air, enjoy this little scenery, and then head back home. So it's Friday. King and Ninj are home, and Ninja's wrapping up work, and King is so ready for movie night. On Fridays, we do movie night. Do y'all do anything like that at your home? Every day we try to have, if you follow me on IG, you know this. Every day we do, for King's schedule and his rhythm, he has something that we do every single day where we focus primarily on. Fridays are movie nights. Granted, it's a family affair, but it's also curated for King and all of us to kind of keep the excitement and to really continue to inspire times for us to come closer and just really cultivate that feeling of being excited about something on a day-to-day basis, you know. So they're about ready. They're wrapping things up to do just that, watch a movie, and I'm here. And I figured I would make this video the second piece to, there's gonna be, I don't know how many there will be of this particular video, but I know that this is a topic that I want to continue talking about. In this video, I want to talk about anxiety. And I want to just talk about, of course, my own experience with anxiety, what I kind of believe the next level of what I told you in the previous video of what I define as anxiety. Anxiety means when you go ahead and type it in on the internet. That's what it means. That's what anxiety means to our world. To me, anxiety is really our spirit letting us know that there's some type of unease. There's something that is not, there's something uneasy in this moment. There's something that our spirit is recognizing that does not either sit well with us or is triggering our subconscious mind or previous lifetime of memories. There is something that is being triggered in this moment and is causing us to not be present. So it's taking us outside of this moment, whether that is, you know, sometimes it can show up as our thoughts, us thinking things way into the future, which can be linked to our unconscious mind, our subconscious mind, right? Because sometimes when we bury things beneath and below, we don't realize it, and then it can come up. So if you're someone who time management, or even just like maybe you have had not so great experiences, I try to stay away from like negative and positive terminology, but maybe you haven't had so much of a great experience with planning ahead, or even maybe you have never had experience with planning things ahead or thinking positively about your future, because maybe every time you've had experiences, it's been something that always unravels, and the next thing is not so comfortable. Maybe you're not someone who's comfortable with uncomfortable. Why am I saying all of this? How does it even relate to anxiety? Is because when we think about those things and how it affects our brain, right? Because we collect all of that memory and we bury it deep down inside. Sometimes it shows up in moments where we don't realize that it's going to show up, especially like in a relaxed environment like I'm in. Sometimes memories and things can just trigger, and then we start to really we can start to overthink, and we can start to just kind of get in our heads a little bit and really allow our brains to kind of move faster than it needs to. And then our spirit really feels that, almost like that uneasiness, like, why is your brain moving so fast? What is happening? And then it kind of sends signals to the rest of your body, and the rest of your body is like, wait a minute, what's happening here? And then I think that it kind of triples and unravels to the breathing, right? Because then your breathing will start, depending on who you are, your breathing can be affected, and things can continue to unravel, like a panic attack and things of that nature. So when we're thinking ahead, sometimes that can trigger our spirit not being at ease with where we are in the moment, right? And sometimes too, it could really be our spirit letting us know some things that we probably missed. So for example, sometimes when I get around certain people, it can trigger my anxiety. And not just some people, certain people, whether sometimes, because as you guys all know, one of the ways that I'm able to even deliver messages from my intuition into wisdom is because I tap in, I tune in, and like all of us who are extremely gifted, we are all gifted, we all have the gift to be able to read people, we all have the gift to be able to know, we all have the gift of seeing, knowing, hearing. We have that gift. It's whether or not we choose to strengthen it, and some things can come more natural to other people, to some people than others. And for me, the gift of knowing is something that comes very natural to me. So I know a lot, and that is something that is beyond me, and it's beyond this planet. So I am able to, from my intuition, and bring that up and speak it into wisdom and deliver these messages to y'all, whether it's through alien poetry on my Instagram, or whether it's through English, like I'm really trying to speak right now for you guys. Spirit and alien is really my first language. So for me, it's not just anybody that can trigger that anxiety for me. Folks who we have deep bonds and deep history and deep connection with, those folks we can a lot of times carry a lot of baggage with, right? And a lot of memories. Who knows? It's more evident when you're born into a family to know that you have history with them, like prehistoric history, maybe or maybe not. You evolved with them in this lifetime from a past life, or maybe they're a new family to you, whatever the case might be. For those of you who are like, whoa, you lost me there. You know, I'm kind of woo-woo, so I'll try to elaborate just a little bit. I personally believe that we choose how we want to reincarnate into this body, and we choose the families that we want to be born into, to learn what it is that we want to learn from them, and to be able to learn the lessons that we want to continue learning in every lifetime that we reincarnate, right? So I believe that. So I said that to say sometimes we choose that. So that's me taking accountability of my journey. You don't have to do this for you. It's for me. It's the way I think about it. Remember that. It's my perspective. It doesn't have to be yours. This is literally, it's Umi speaking. It's life speaking through me. It's my life speaking. So for me, folks who I have been born onto this planet with and around trigger me the most because of the experiences that I've had with them and the things that they have done to me that didn't feel right or didn't feel appropriate or weren't encouraging, and it just wasn't beneficial to my spirit. It didn't lift my spirit. It really weighed me down and pulled me down. those folks trigger me the most and the easiest because there's so much baggage already there and it's already raw there. At this moment in time, they don't, because I've strengthened so much and I've actually separated from majority of my family for years now. Be able to even say that is such a blessing. I feel like I'm a recovering family addict, although I have rekindled and recreated my own family, my tribe that doesn't consist of, blood, but they're my soul tribe. I have created those, and they might as well be my blood, because the way that we are all so intertwined is just, it's just beyond me. So those folks who I have that much history with and who have a space in my heart so deeply, they trigger me the most and unsettle my spirit a lot. And it's almost like they nudge my spirit to really remind me of what it is that I'm supposed to be doing here on this earth, and really remind me of the thing that, and when I say remind me of what I'm supposed to be doing on earth, it also comes with the reminders. And this could be for you, maybe for people who aren't a family, people who are complete strangers, and for me also as well, folks who remind me of what I'm supposed to be doing, and then they also remind me of what I'm not supposed to be here doing. And strangers remind me that as well too, but especially that, because the trigger is it makes me feel so uneasy, and it just, it causes the breathing, it causes the discomfort, it causes the tightness in my chest, it causes the lightheadedness, it causes the feeling of like, oh my gosh, like I just feel like I'm gonna crumble being around these folks. Like my spirit literally cannot handle it. And that to me is like the extreme aspect of my experience. That's when anxiety has really triggered me the most and has shown up the most in my lifetimes. Nowadays, anxiety can show up, and I've recognized it. I think it's something as well too, just like depression, that because it's our spirit's always in our body until we transition. So because it's our spirit's always giving us signals whether or not something is really in alignment meaning like whether it's on the path that we're supposed to be on the path of, or if it's something that is not on the path that we're supposed to be on the path of. It's really that sixth sense. It's a radar. It's your inner gut, your intuition, I think. And it shows up as anxiety because it's like, okay, you're not listening to the stomach. You're not listening to the feeling that you get. You're not listening to the feeling that you get. You're not listening to the sweaty palms. You're not listening to the signs that we're giving you. So how about we show up this way? And then your spirit really starts to react in different ways inside of your body, right? Sending different signals, and then things kind of like will start to change for you. And it can show up as so many different things, and it shows up so different for so many people. And for me, I know that it's one of those things that we do experience on a day-to-day basis, right? And then it just depends on the extremity of it and how sensitive we are to our body to feel how we are reacting and to actually be aware of how we're reacting, right? So those of us who are more sensitive, we might know when it's coming, or we might be aware that it is actually anxiety and be able to pinpoint like, oh, that's anxiety. Because sometimes it shows up, and it's like stress. It can show up so silently because we've been so trained not to understand the way that our spirits work and the way that our spirit kind of speaks to us through this physical form, right? So since we have been trained, it's a lot of unlearning and a lot of removing of the training to be able to retrain ourselves to understand and use our spirit, understand and really work with our spirit as that radar, as what it is, a sixth sense tool to guide us along with our guides who are here on this earth. So it can show up in little ways, right? Such as a mom, you can sometimes start to feel a little overwhelmed if you're putting too much things onto your plate, and that can trigger your spirit to be like, this is not where I'm supposed to be, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing. And then it can trigger your brain to start to think about all of this other stuff, and then your spirit starts to feel the dis-ease, and then it keep going and go on and so forth. Or even in this way, your spirit is starting to tell you like, this doesn't feel right, you shouldn't be stressing, you shouldn't be moving in this kind of way, you shouldn't operate in this way. Because as humans, I don't think that we should be working as hard as we working. I believe in really aligning, like really taking a moment to, not even a moment, really just aligning yourself so that you can be in alignment, be in connection, be in the flow, I don't want to use too many like buzzwords for you guys, but really utilize your body as a magnet for all of the things that you want in this life. Utilizing your spirit to be able to bring you to all of the things that you want in this lifetime. But in order to do so, you have to be unblocked. You have to be unblocked. You have to be clear. You have to be sensitive enough to be aware of the signs and things that are showing you that there is something that's blocking you from being able to do just that. And I think that we overcompensate that with working really hard, and we really don't see the difference. We're like, we have to work hard. This is America, you know. This is what capitalism is. This is what the world is. And it's like, to me, I don't think that. You guys might think I'm ridiculous. You might think I'm earthy, crunchy, hippie, whatever the case might be. But I really do believe in like flowing and really allowing things to come to you. Yes, there's action that you do put into place, but I think it's a divine dance in between both of those things, right? Learning when you're doing too much and knowing when to do just enough to be able to really meet your match almost, or meet your mindset and meet your spirit. And that way you're in the flow of what you're supposed to be receiving, because we're supposed to receive abundance, we're supposed to receive all of those things. But when we're stressed out, we repel it, and it's not on purpose. It's just because we're attracting more stress and not what it is that we should be attracting from a clear space, right? So with the ways that anxiety can show up in, it's our body really reminding us like, hey, you shouldn't be operating in this space. Hey, slow down, take a second to breathe. Hey, start to incorporate some tools, which is what I'm gonna go to next, right? A lot of times we hear moms say, this is motherhood, you know, being super overwhelmed and like cramming everything and just doing all these things that make your head want to blow up. And it's like, you know, it's funny, but it's also not, because at the same time, there are things that we can do to put in place to stay on top of that. That way we are being able to receive, because motherhood, if you allow it, it's such a gift, because it gives you this heightened level of sensitivity that, I don't know about y'all, but I didn't really have this certain level of sensitivity that I carry now. Not just with feeling my organs and feeling all that stuff, but just really being able to be so in touch and in tune with spirit. There's a veil that really opens up and invites you to be able to have access to knowledge, access to energy, access to so many things. That's a video for another day. But we shouldn't be operating, no one should be, but especially not moms. Yes, women, we can multitask. We have all these different compartments in our head. Do we need to use them all the time? Not necessarily. Is there a way we can use them smarter and not overwork ourselves and burn ourselves out? Absolutely. Because when we're burnt out, we're basically not listening to the signals and signs of our body telling us what it is that we should be doing, right? And that's where the anxiety comes into place as well too. Or if you're someone like me who is highly sensitive and has the gift of knowing or feeling or reading people, which you do, you just have to strengthen it and work on it. But sometimes other folks' energy can like really shake that up within your spirit, and then you are reading their spirit and finding out like what's happening with them. Is there something that they need to hear or anything of that nature? So some of the tools that I utilize when I'm having some anxiety, when I'm experiencing regular old anxiety, put a blanket. I contain the energy on me and what's coming out of me. I put a blanket over me. It doesn't have to be a fancy blanket. It's usually something soft. I'm a Taurus moon, so I love soft, warm, cuddly things. I'll put a blanket on me and just kind of like leave the blanket over my head, because our crown chakra, right? That's the chakra that is connecting us to the divine, the most high. And it's really letting out, and messages are coming in to receive. Because at time too, when our spirit is unsettled and that moment is happening with anxiety, our spirit is almost like, I see it as like shooting up energy out, because it's trying to get the energy. It's just a whole bunch of energy moving around, so it's like shooting out, shooting wherever. So to contain the energy, I kind of like wrap myself up in a scarf. I'll put a scarf over my head, or I'll even like put a blanket over my body and walk around my house like that. Or if I'm going out, I'll put a hoodie on. I'll, cover myself, cover my head, just to kind of keep my head wrapped, because that is where a lot of energy comes through as well. Keep the energy in my body wrapped too, because sometimes I'll get the shakes. I'll take a nice hot bath, because that can also keep you very grounded. You guys know I talk a lot about being grounded. If you don't already, go ahead and follow my skincare and soul care line on Instagram. You can find it right here. Go ahead and hit that following. Like, I have grounding products that really allow us to remember on a day-to-day basis how important it is for us to really stay grounded and connected to Mother Earth and stay within the trees, and just not forgetting about the things that we really need as humans. And if you're someone like me who lives in a colder climate, it's extra important for you to remember that, right? Someone who sees all the seasons every year, the weather changes, we're not able to walk barefoot every day outside and just get that nice charge from the earth and just the air from outside, then you definitely want to have these reminders. So go ahead and follow there as well too, by staying grounded, taking a nice bath, being able to keep myself down to earth, grounding tools. I'll make a whole separate video on like grounding tools and how to ground yourself and why is it so important to ground yourself, so that you guys can just kind of have these separately. But I'll take a nice bath. I'll start writing. And a lot of times I'll just let myself write. I journal and just like allow myself to let spirit lead and just spirit talk. I'll do that. Or I'll even have like a bullet, my friend calls it bullet point writing. And like I'll just write different bullets and like try to get things out of my head. And like I'll do it until my spirit starts to feel at ease. Have some tea, something nice and hot and warm to kind of keep me feeling comfortable inside, like a nice hug on the inside. Even some soup, something. Just think of like comfort, warm. What's going to keep you comforted? What's going to keep you warm? Sometimes it's even like talking to friends who feel like home, like literally feel like home. Not someone who you have to rely on because their energy is always up. Not that saying of like find people who you want to be like. Not that. Friends who literally feel like home. People who literally feel like home. Sometimes talking with them, just hearing their voice or seeing their face, or even hearing and seeing my own. Being able to like see myself talk sometimes will bring me back, because I'm like, oh wow, doing a meditation, that is a way to help. There's so many different tools and techniques out there, but those are the few that I dabble into now. Even sometimes having a little hug from my person, my little tiny human, getting hugs from him, talking with him, really brings me into the present and like will allow my spirit to kind of come down and like ground myself a bit more. So that part. And I'm trying to think of what else. I think that's about it, you guys. But basically that is my philosophy on anxiety, and I'll be making much more of these videos. I'll continue to allow the conversation to unravel, and know that anxiety, I think, is normal. I think it's a part of our day-to-day. It's learning how to really coexist with it. It's learning how to recognize it and be like, oh shoot, that's you, it's you, what's up, okay, how do we do this? And really understanding how sensitive you are, right, to certain things. If you know that you're going to be triggered around certain people, strengthening yourself, not to cut those people off, but to build up a muscle to be able to allow that into your life, but really allow yourself to learn how to handle it. Because I know we live in a society where we really admire and love cancel culture, but is it really beneficial for our health? Not so much, because then you cancel everything and then you don't know how to really navigate, and you don't have the tools to be able to be around and to really thrive around things that make you feel uncomfortable, unless it's detrimental to your health and your existence. That's when it starts to become something that's okay. You know, maybe you need to withdraw from it, not necessarily cancel it, not cancel it and bad talk it. Although you can cancel something without bad talking or trash talking, or, you know, completely. You guys get where I'm going with that. But anywho, if you haven't already, take a moment to go ahead and subscribe. If you like this conversation, go ahead and comment in the comment section what you think about anxiety. What does anxiety mean to you? How does it show up for you? We'll continue to unravel and talk about it much more. But that's pretty much my take on anxiety, what I think that it means to me, and a few ways that I navigate. I probably will do a separate one on like anxiety and motherhood, so that you guys can hear like when, maybe I'll give you more situations of when it comes up, how it happens, what I do in those situations. But for the most part, this was kind of the umbrella, explaining to you my thoughts on it. But I would love to know yours. I'm absolutely open to continuing this dialogue, so feel free to drop your comments below, and then also don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification button so that you guys can be notified for the next time. You don't want to miss these conversations. I don't want to miss the opportunity to talk with you guys. I'll see you guys next video. Peace.